Hello and welcome to this episode of Read Play Game, the podcast where we look at tabletop role-playing games from every side of the table.
Wow, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Woo. I'm Emma, and I played Casey, the partner in Fedora Noir.
I'm Anish, and I played Robin Banks, the flame that did it.
Whoa, spoiler. I'm Tori. I played the Hat.
I'm Josh, and I played the detective Richard Dick-tective.
Easter egg for anyone who didn't put that together.
Where do we want to start with this one? How do we want to talk about this game? Easy to play, I will say.
Incredibly so.
Yeah. Easy to jump into. Go ahead.
I'd be curious how people who don't consider themselves like theater people would jump into something like this. Do you know what I mean?
I do feel like you have that question a lot with these games, and my thing is I do think that it is theater people playing these games.
That's fair.
You know, I think that
someone with friends is not playing this fucking
I think that people who don't want to do role play would gravitate towards less role play heavy games. That's my thing.
Yeah, the structure of this story lends itself so well to comedy. Because if you take it lighthearted, it's just a funny back and forth. But if you take it seriously and play the detective story earnestly, it's still very funny.
Yeah.
Because it's a parody game.
It's a parody game.
It is Naked Gun.
What hang-ups did we have? What felt really natural? What felt more difficult to navigate?
I know for me, I thought the Hat was going to be just like, I kind of get to putz around and like crack one-liners here and there. So the fact that I was actually having to do some of that like critical thinking, 1 + 1 = that like SpongeBob thing where it's like sponge plus star = question mark. That threw me off a little. Obviously, we're playing on Zoom, so like trying to figure out, who's about to speak or whatnot. And then obviously my job as like a thinking entity rather than a doing entity came up a little bit where I'd be like, I nudge Casey. It's like, no, you don't. You're a brain. You cannot do that. That would freak everybody out.
My brain comes out of my ears.
Yeah, I think it was interesting seeing you in a role that is so by its nature inactive. But it's like, I think part of the fun, especially early on when we were playing it, is you as the Hat being like, this is what I should do. And then Josh being like, nah.
I take my coat off.
I think that's inherently fun. Like that back and forth, that conflict. But I think as the story went along and we kind of got more in it, like we were all trying to figure it out.
I think that this type of game, and it's something that it's hard to find the balance with it. I think that when you're doing this kind of loose form, telling a story together, strong framing at the top of scenes really helps so that we're not creating conflicting narratives later on.
Yeah.
I find it really helpful to have a like straight up beginning, middle, end of like, what exactly are we trying to hit? And then we'll figure out how we get there. But that can lessen the fun for some people. I'm curious what people felt about that.
I definitely felt thrown into the waters at some points. Like the game is asking you to come up with a lot in terms of the story and mystery. I think the game doesn't care as much about the mystery because it's not talking about that. Yeah. However, I'm dumb and I care about it. So I'm like, I need to come up with a logical solution to this thing. And it can be kind of stressful if you're like that kind of personality where like people were going to throw out clues as like gifts in terms of improv. And then you're scared to be like, I don't know what you mean by this. Would it be wrong to interpret it a different way? And I think the suggestion I have after playing the game is like, I don't think there's a way to go wrong as long as everybody's on the same page about like, saying, all right, fuck it, we keep rolling. Because I think keeping up the pace like that and then strong framing allows for like the real heart of the story, which is the interactions. Yeah,
the character stuff. But that's what I mean of like the strong framing gets rid of the need to, like, I would have even done more framing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, give us an example of that, because I don't know what you mean.
Like, I would have done a, like, I think that's the moment where I was like, well, what does Robin want here? Like, what exactly is of like, okay, so we're going to be in conflict. What does this conflict look like? Like, it's her trying to hide the evidence, or is it her trying to grab the evidence? Like, so then you know that kind of detail. So then when you're in it, like, I don't know about y'all, but when Josh was like, I know exactly what happened, I was like, I don't.
Yes,
that's just me bluffing.
I was like, where are you going?
Whoa.
So I think that you have to take really wide swings when you're presenting that kind of evidence. Whereas if you put it in the framing ahead of time, like, I would even be down to play this as more of a Columbo-esque thing, where at the beginning we decide who actually.
Yeah.
That would be way less stressful as a role player.
I think, like, especially for, like, the detective and Hat, like, because there's no GM, I think that just means there's 4 GMs.
Yes.
And every GM has their own idea of how the mystery is going to end. And so, like, the entire time, like, I'm used to, like, when I'm the player being the player, and it's just like, oh, let's solve this mystery. But then it's just like there's clues from like 4 different people being thrown out, and I'm just like, oh,
yeah,
I can't really solve a puzzle that doesn't exist. Like, you can't, if everyone's randomly cutting different shapes of their own, then being like, okay, put it together. It's like, well, I can't solve this, which is kind of goes to like, I think it was Anisha's point of like, it's not about the mystery. Like, it's more about like the character interactions. And once you like figure that out, it's just riffing. Yeah. Like, it's just riffing. It's riff. It's 7 chapters of riff. It's riff.
Yeah. I think that's very strong. Like, the character ties. And they even, I'm sure if we interview Caroline, because from what Mark was talking about, you cannot solve the mystery in this, and that's fine. Like, there are many endings that it's just like you look for clues and then you find some clues and they don't make sense. You were in that interview too.
I forgot.
That's so true. Yeah, like, you don't have to. That's not the point of the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The point is like doing the investigation. Because there's a lot of, I guess there's not. I'm thinking about, I only know parodies. Like, the idea of abandoning the case is a real one. Like, Me or the Case.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can abandon the case and not care about it.
It's just like Angel Season 5, Episode 1.
I think my lack of familiarity with the mystery kind of noir genre, I think I was playing catch up in that way, because like I didn't know that was an option. So it's always in these game episodes where I'm like, oh, if I had known that, I would have played it differently. So I'm curious if, like, I didn't read this rule book as deeply as I could have. So I'm curious if I can, like, and this is for the future mostly, just read something and kind of get to the heart of it from the beginning, you know?
It's anytime I see prep lists, I take that to heart. I'm like, okay, I won't be reading it.
All right, nice.
Right.
I think
check.
You don't need to prep for this, but like you kind of, I think it's probably would be better if we were all like in like new like noir, like we're into like the classic film noir, because it's like, you know, I mean, you know, like the rules, like there's always a twist at the end. But if there's a twist at the end, it kind of has to be set up. And usually it ends up with the detective like not. I don't know if y'all have played The Wolf Among Us, but like the detective kind of like loses in the end at the end of the game, no matter what. And it's just like you solve the case, but it's like
at what cost?
Like what happens? Or you can just not solve the case and you let the killer get away, but it's because like the killer's like your GF or whatever, and it's like it's super neat. And I think that's super cool. But like, you know, I was sort of by the end of it, I was like, well, I need to figure out what the twist is. I think because the detective needs to make there be a twist, which I felt sort of like locked into. I think by the genre itself. Because even the like chapter 7, it mentions like no one wins, like who everyone loses, no one wins. What's the mystery? And it's just like I don't know. I only just now realized someone killed someone. Wait a minute. It was I think the anarchy of it all was sort of confusing to me. I think.
Is this your first GM-less game, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You did very well.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
it's a lot to like, dive into that.
In talking about the genre, Emma, I needed the framing. I appreciated the framing. And there was sometimes when like you or Anish would have to kind of step in and be like, okay, and you see so-and-so behind the counter or whatever, which also was helpful. Anish, you talking about not being familiar with the genre. I loved your sexy flame character. I thought it fit so well. It was such a great like shade to get to see from you.
Yeah, it's fun.
That I feel like we haven't seen before. So
I can't believe we cut the sex scene from the play audio. I can't believe they're never going to hear that. They're never going to hear
that.
They're not going to hear that.
Patreon.
But on Patreon.
We decided it was too vulnerable and passionate for our general listenership.
If you subscribe to the
behind the
Patreon,
paywall.
there is a Josh and Anish 45-minute sex scene. We describe every smells,
Everything,
sights,
every
taste.
detail.
We go deep in.
And we do.
Well,
the
speaking
entire thing.
of, I was really disappointed we never went to the Slop Hole.
I thought we were going to go to the
set up
Slop
the Slop
Hole.
Hole, and we were like, Anish, we made Anish come up with all these details and didn't even go there. The closest,
I was really trying with the next step Slop Hole.
the closest we came was my detective saying, "Oh, I know a guy."
Yes!
Because he's the
Oh, that's
guy.
funny.
I can't believe we made Anish sit there. We were like, no, come up with all these details. Didn't even go.
You're like the
awesome.
seediest characters. The food makes you sick. The drinks make you sick.
It's like Anish said, I love derailing stories. I love not
So
going
true.
to places someone set up.
But
Give me
what
a
a
character
gift.
and I won't speak to them.
But what a gift, because, like, it takes you in new directions,
And it gives you that thing to hold on of, like, you know a guy. And
I know
we
that.
immediately know what that means.
We know who the guy
Yeah,
is.
in
We
the
know.
context
And the
of the
audience
world.
knows.
Yeah.
But
I remember in our first scene saying something like, damn, I wish I had a charisma check or something like that.
yeah.
Because obviously everyone knows the first rule of improv is yes and. But sometimes that doesn't make for an interesting scene if we're like,
You can't fail. You can't lose.
yeah, like tell me the truth and then they do. It's like a little too straightforward. So trying to negotiate, how is this scene going to go? One with,
yeah.
you know what I mean? One, like keeping the energy going, but also...
I ran Mothership at a public game, and so I got to read the, like, GM side of that rule, and Mothership doesn't have social roles. It only has physical and, like, sanity and stuff like that. There's nothing for charisma. And one of the things that I really appreciated that I think is very present in GM lists, and it was fun that you said this earlier, Josh, but, like, people also call GM-less games GM full game. That was in a interview that we just did. Where it's like, just be honest as the player or the GM. You do not have to be honest as a character. If there's not social rules, you say, this person's lying to you, and here's what they say. You say, like, you can tell that this person's lying to you. Because, like, then you get to move the story along while still having those social interactions.
It's a real skill, I think, to play GM full games. Yeah.
I love a collaborative. Like, I really liked Jamais Vu. I feel like when we introducing evidence to me, I try to not have it be tied to any individual. So then later it can be tied to whoever it is. So I really was interested in, like, the missing purse, and my thought with it being on
fucking idea.
Yeah.
my thought with it being
okay.
on the train was like, someone took it, got what they needed from it, and left it on the train. So looking at it deeper, someone could later make a decision as to who did that. But, like, it's the next step. And that's what I'm kind of curious. For me, here's my understanding of what the mystery was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, here's what I got from that with that twist at the end, is the Montgomery family was for sure involved, but what I got was that Robin was pulling strings to kind of manipulate them into feeling this way about their son. Like, was getting them to do this secretly, and, like, that they were kind of constantly behind the scenes moving that, because Robin also did not approve of the marriage and, like, set up this whole thing. So for me, it didn't feel like Robin was as, like maybe there was one set of fingerprints on the piece of fabric or something. Like, that Robin was less hands-on, but was certainly involved, and only Detective would have ever figured it out, was kind of how I conceptualized it.
Well, what if it's something like this? Like the Montgomerys would have paid for all the evidence to be destroyed, but Robin was able to, like, was said, like, Robin was on the train, maybe had the purse, left the purse, took the perfume and keys, and was, however, they were able to put it in the safe to frame them for something they did, to frame the Montgomerys for something they did. But Robin was the one who provided the evidence. Does that sound right?
Yeah, like, I love the idea that they had some seedy connection at some point where they're like, none of us feel good about this connection. What's the answer here? I like that a lot.
Y'all should play a GM full game without me. I think I'm kind of like the weaker link when it comes to these. Not fishing.
Give me a compliment. Come on. I feel like I'm the weak link. Does anyone think I'm cool and good at this game?
I do struggle when it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I need to be taking the reins.
Oh my God. I struggle with the framing too, because I have like I have a mental image of what the scene is, but to like explain it without like, I have a difficult time, I think, framing scenes. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just gonna say, like, I agree. Like, I feel sort of like, I think we all felt like the weak link, but I felt like we're all. But no, I also felt weak because I feel like, I mean, I've like GM'd and I've played, and I feel like when I'm the GM, it's just like, it's great because I can like decide things and let the players figure things out. But then when I'm playing, like, my instinct is just like, okay, Daddy, hold my hand, please. Tell me where I'm going. Please tell me what I'm doing. Please, Daddy, please tell me. So I sort of felt like I was like, anytime like Emma or Anish or Tori, I sort of like turned Tori into my automatic GM kind of, because I was like, what do I think? I'm just like, GM set it up, and then I can be chaotic from what the GM gives me. Like, Tori was kind of my GM, I feel like, throughout the game. Like, I'm just like, Hat, what do I think? And it's
and I threw it back at you where I was like, well, it could be this, could be that.
I think that we did lose some of that comedy when the Hat, like, I don't think it was bad for the story, but when you started being like, here are your two options, and then you get to pick, it lessened that, like, here's what you should do, and then it's, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want to do type energy.
I really like the bit of, like, it's so cold out, I take my coat off. I love the wind, I put my coat back on. Like, there could have been, like, I think more of that. But is that in the spirit of the game, or is that just being funny? Like, I don't know.
That's the point of the game.
Is it detective who wants to look tough taking the coat off? Like,
is it just Josh and Tori riff hour?
Yes, that was what it was.
That's why
let's go back. Off the record. Let's.
And I think, and I could be wrong about this, but I think that I struggle in the opposite way in GM full games, where I feel very comfortable, like, stating that something is true for the world, where I'm like, someone's got to do it. We got to get the ball rolling. Let's put some evidence up here.
I'm too good at it.
It's not that I'm too good at it.
God,
it becomes kind of steamrolly, because I want it to be we're all doing it, and then it's like, oh no, am I becoming the GM? But I think that it might be, I'm trying to think of like what causes that, and the way that I engage with media is very different from a lot of people I know, in that I don't give a damn about spoilers. Like, I don't mind being absolutely spoiled on something, and then I'll watch it anyway and I'll enjoy it thoroughly.
You're gonna love Angel Season 1, Episode 5.
You're going to love Angel Season 1, Episode 5, Room with, it's actually 5, I realized later on, but it's Room with the View.
And that's like Columbo. That's that of like, it doesn't matter what the answer is, we're trying to get there. And that's the, like, I feel like some of the pushback against those like really hard framing and figuring out how we frame it is like, well, I want this to come up naturally. And it's like, listen, I can't read your mind. I need it spelled out for me up top.
Comparing it to like Epitaph, the way we were talking about with Mark Hobbs, the bumpers make it fun, like to understand the rules of the game and the scene, then you can kind of let wild within those, and everybody understands what the, parameters are. So I kind of like the framing, and I think it helps enable the improv when we understand what's the goal, what's the question we're trying to answer, yada, yada, yada.
I think for me, I either need a GM, like who is like in control, or I need like 8 hours. Like I either need to know who the killer is, or I need to be able to riff for like an unconstrained amount of time. Because I think, you know, and that's not blaming the time constraint of a podcast. I mean, we don't want to make this like a 30-hour.
The game is designed to be played in 2 hours, so that's a
Not
good
me,
point. Of like, you don't feel like
not for me. Like I need me and Tori going back and forth for like hours, and because I think part of the problem with all of us being theater kids is like all of us want to riff and want to keep like going off of each other. And so we just like keep going, and eventually I think we'll like lock in and find that point that we need to get to. But the problem with like making it a mystery is like, well, that point needs to come within an hour, or like it needs to come within a tight 90, or else fuck, we're done. And it's just like, but I could go for 8 hours. I know all of us could like go for like a billion years on this like mystery.
Side note, listeners, I need something that gets the idea of theater kids across, but I'm 28 at this point. I can't call myself a theater kid, but I need something that encapsulates that idea.
Theater grown-ass man.
I need our best minds on this. Please come up with a term that I can use so that people understand what I'm saying, but I'm not, whatever, you know what I mean? All right.
Loser.
Sorry.
Bestie house enjoyer, bestie house tenant,
a reader, player, gamer. Sorry, keep going.
I think that 8 hours for riffing is really fun. I think when you have a mystery game, keeping it short really, really helps, actually.
Agreed.
Especially when it's collaborative, so you don't have 1 million clues.
Because
once you get past a certain threshold, it's like, this is never coming together. I think like 5 clues is so many.
I will say,
so many.
I had the both lovely and horrible experience of writing a shared play with an entire class in high school, and oh my god, when I tell you, like, when you have an entire semester to flesh out a story and everybody gets a voice, it's like really tough. And I'm so glad this story, like you said, Emma, like has that very short time frame. And I think like a constant sort of reminder like we had keeps it very focused. Like I really like the story we told, and it feels natural. And if we had gone any longer, it'd be like, oh god, why are we doing this?
Did I ever see that play? Was it ever put up?
No.
Okay.
NCTC. Everyone at NCTC 2021.
Any other thoughts?
Just kind of reiterating the same thing we've already said 70 times. Like, Josh, you had said, oh, show, don't tell. Like, that's the golden rule. But I'm like, tell me, please.
tell me.
There's an app I'm sure people have gotten ads for before. It's like there's a little cartoon king character, and he's like being drowned slowly, and you're supposed to like move the block. And he's like, help me.
Rise of Kingdoms.
Help me. So that's the vocal whatever thing that Em and I were doing.
Help me.
Help me.
Help me. You have to move the lava
So
out
anyway,
of the way.
I
why am I, what's up with me where I'm like, yeah.
You are good at mysteries. You are good at creating your own murder mysteries. Hello.
I don't think about it's like, I don't know how to put it because I understand what you're saying, Emma, but
because it's
like,
not even in the mystery genre. I feel very comfortable just putting something in the world.
Why do you feel comfortable as if you have, why do you give yourself permission to like not have it be perfect, kind of talk about the framing.
Yeah.
Whereas other players struggle with the idea of like taking like that kind of range.
Confidence.
I don't think it's a confidence.
Why are you so confident and perfect and really good at what
you do? I don't think
how do you sleep at night? And who do you think you are?
The best reader, player, gamer? Like, why are you everyone's favorite member of the podcast? Why are you perfect? Actually,
I think it is. I think it's not that. I think it is very much a like. I think I am. I know that I'll get frustrated in a scene if I don't have that. It's more about avoiding frustration than anything else. Like, I am prioritizing my piece with that.
And as somebody who doesn't function like that, but can, I really appreciate when a game is like very clearly spells out to me, hey, it's more about this than that. Like, very clearly. And I think that's something I would have liked. Like, and the game doesn't owe me that. And I think if I play it again, I'm going to get more permission. But, like...
Play it Columbo style. I think that would be...
I mean, yeah, that'd be awesome. But I think it can also work as a mystery, because it's fun to not know if the flame is involved or not. You know? That's really cool.
It would be interesting if the hat knows who did it and no one else does.
I could see that.
Or if the hat decides who did it. Or
Yeah,
at least the
that's
detective doesn't know, and the detective has to figure it out. And it's like, well, do I listen to the hat? Like, am I being funny, or am I actually playing the game and
There's
solving
so many ways to riff on it.
Yeah. I guess I also have a what's the word? Disrespect isn't the right word, but maybe.
No,
a disrespect for the rules. I'm like, I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm like, I'm gonna have fun.
I want to have
with
fun.
the game. Because I think the game creators want you to have fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
One would
That's
think.
true.
One would hope.
I'm a student. I like a prompt.
I think the greatest games have it in their text or like have rules in place to like
Hold
push
both.
that agenda more.
I think I prefer brevity over that.
Mm.
Like, I prefer a bare bones thing that then I get to put all of my shit on of like, here's how I like to play games and here's what makes sense to me in this moment and here's how I'm going to get what I want out of it. Because there might be one group that wouldn't want that type of framing and would want a more nebulous and doesn't care about solving the mystery. And so this allows it to be played either way, depending on what you want. But it does require... I wonder if that's a part of the, like, safety tool discussion at the beginning, is what type of game are we trying to play? What, like, not in tone, but in mechanics. And I think the arc is really, really fun. Like, how it bounces back and forth between who's framing the scenes. I think that really helps move the story along. That's, like, an interesting design choice. I don't know. Yeah, the framing of the different scenes, not in how we framed them, but in the sequence, right? We had, sorry, there's so many settings that I always have to, that, I will say, the digital version, I'm gonna buy the cards. Because scrolling back and forth between the chapters and the base rule, like just the reference stuff at the beginning, and you got all the actors in between, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta scroll so much. But yeah, we've got like the detective's office, and then we've got the new case where the partner frames it, and it goes into heart to heart with the flame. Like, I thought it was interesting that the flame and the partner each get to frame 2 scenes, and the detective and the hat only get to frame 1. That was interesting to me. Thought that was fun. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, there's a lot of thought put into the structure of the game, and I think I find it really interesting, the questions for each of those chapters as well, because they are telling a very specific kind of story, and it only contributes to the very specific tone and setting. I mean, it's just like very prototypical mystery stuff. I love it.
I think Detective and Hat having a little less kind of made Tori, and I mean, I don't know if Tori felt this way, but I kind of felt more like a player compared to like the other 2 roles. Even though I was relying on Tori as my GM, I'm just like, come on, give me a thought. Give me a setting. Give me a location. Occupation.
I found myself skipping ahead sometimes to try to figure out what questions are coming next, because I didn't want to be put on the spot where it's like, fuck, I have the last chapter. Am I the one who's supposed to like wrap this all up? Like, let me put some thought into it before we get there, so I can at least have some kind of guess. Like, I don't know, I guess I felt insecure at my not so much strong suit in like piecing the puzzle together. Do you know what I mean? I'm literally that meme where it's like the smiley face puzzle, and it's like, okay, smart guy, let's see you try it. But I had fun, like you said, I had fun riffing. That was my favorite part. I just, as we were kind of building to the end. And I mean, it was an explosive ending catharsis where it's like guns are pointed. We didn't have time to like, oh, let's go put a theory together and then come with like all of
Agreed.
our, you know,
Yeah.
ducks in a row or whatever. So having to kind of put that together on the spot, because I was like, how are we going to get ourselves out of this? We're outgunned, outmanned.
Outnumbered, outplanned.
Yeah.
2 Hamilton references on Sunday.
And I will say, in that last scene, it did feel like, oh, okay, we're kind of stuck here. And I had if the question of who's not here or who wasn't part of the plot wasn't asked, where then Vanessa came down and was on the phone, it was going to be Casey, who had a little recording device. Like, at some point, it was like, okay, we don't have any evidence. It's got to be a recording of some sort.
Sorry, I knocked Casey unconscious.
That was hilarious. That's
Left him
really
in the
good.
And then
basement.
shot Robin at the end. Hello? What was the...
Crazy.
So I was like, there has to be a twist. It's noir. So like the femme fatale has to be, or the they them fatale has to be.
The them
The
fatale.
them
That was
fatale.
so
Them
good.
fatale.
Hilarious.
It's 2027 in Mamdani's New York. Them fatale is now the way.
Finally.
Finally, them fatales exist.
Side note, if any of our listeners are anywhere near Charleston, South Carolina, there's a really cute murder mystery, like, not really dinner theater, but something to that effect, where you can order drinks and like small appetizers, called The Black Fedora. And you get to go. If you like, you can have a script, and they just do kind of small NPC characters that the audience can play and read along. So it's a really fun time. If anybody's near there, definitely go check them out. And they will have an answer at the end that it's like, if you're really listening, I'd be curious, actually, Emma, for you to go to see if you could put it together. I've gone maybe twice and I've never gotten it right, but it's a fun place. If this is something you love, go check that establishment out. It's, I think, also a husband and wife who run it, but I could be wrong.
Oh. My parents did murder mystery dinners all the time when I was a kid. Like all the time. Like every week they would do like a murder mystery dinner with their friend group.
Were you allowed to play too?
No, I was 4. So
If you're
no, they were
if
drinking
you're-
and I was 4. So I ate pizza and played Snowboard Kids for the N64. But
if you're near Durham, North Carolina, we're going to be doing another mystery at the museum, I think in March or April. And
Oh
I
my
wrote
gosh,
those.
y'all go. If drive
so
7
good.
hours and go.
if you're near Los Angeles, California, come to my address and I will do a murder. I'll do a murder mystery night right now.
I inhaled water.
Listeners, if you live in Koreatown, Los Angeles, come on down
'em.
to my address.
Yeah, don't be too specific. You're going to get doxxed.
If you come down to
It was really interesting to me how once we started picking up speed, we were no longer doing the individual scenes. It was like, oh, we're in the next scene.
Yes.
yeah.
And I think that's probably a product of the theater background improv.
Honestly, maybe doing cards would also help us. Like, physical cards would also get us in that mind space of, like, put it down and, like, get it started. Because I'll be honest, I got lost scrolling down the PDF sometimes, so.
I think physical cards and a timer, maybe. Like a
Ooh,
time restraint.
yeah.
Like if we have 5 minutes to do it.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
And what Tori was saying with that is, yeah, like I wanted to look ahead. If they're on the table in front of you face down, you can't
You
do that.
can,
Yeah.
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 That's very interesting.
This does feel like it bridges that gap for me between roleplay games and party games. Like, this is something that I would feel very comfortable if I have 3 friends over, just being like, y'all want to play this? Like, we got a free evening. Is this something that people would be interested in playing? Kind of like Sup was.
Yeah. I think if your friends are really off the cuff, funny kind of people, like, this is so fun to play.
I'm also curious about, we had mentioned the plethora of locations to pick from. Like, what does Noir look like in space or at a necromancy college? Like, I genuinely was like trying to imagine it and drawing a blank. So I'd be curious to hear somebody play it in one of those like more unexpected settings.
And that's why, like, when we were in the read, Tori, you were talking about how you didn't know how replayable it was. But the way that I think I would make it super replayable is by doing it totally randomly. Is by, like, shuffle the location cards, pick one. That's where we're going to be. And then even the, like, arcs. Like, you have 3 choices, pick one randomly, and then we have to make it work. I feel like that could be a really fun way to play it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the way it should be played.
Which I don't... That's the type of thing where, like, house rules... Like, it is very bare bones, because it just says pick one.
Yeah.
So it could be pick one, or it could be pick one.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we had a couple instances where it felt like where we were leading, there was a question for the next scene that kind of felt like it was already gearing up to be answered. So I'm curious if we would have not picked the obvious question and, like, taken it a different direction. Would that have enriched the storytelling? Would it have derailed the current, like, plot line? I don't know. So
there's also the improv thing of, like, end the scene in the middle of it. You know, like, end the scene
before it goes on too long.
Before it, yeah.
That's something that I think
skill.
Before it gets bad.
we could be tighter with, you know, because they say anyone can call end of the scene. You know, like, you just say, like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
I don't think
but
we
when
really
you're having
did that.
fun, you want to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play fast and loose. That's the motto of this game.
I love it.
I love it, fast and loose. Anyway.
In honoring the end the scene at any moment. Does anyone have any final thoughts? I feel like we've
this was fun.
discussed.
Yeah. Okay, I'm so sorry. Closing thought that I have with that. This was fun. That's the bridge between party game and roleplay game for me that I do really appreciate in a small form game like this, where often we get very precious with the stories we are telling and how the story needs, and the point of a game for me is first and foremost the experience playing it, of, like, am I having fun playing it?
Still so insane given the Troika series of events.
I was having such a good time with that.
I feel so left out. I should probably
You gotta listen to
probably
Troika.
listen to Troika.
Actually, I would love to hear your take on Troika.
I'll listen to it.
I love that you want everyone to really hate it, and people are usually like, it was pretty funny. People seemed really frustrated, but it was pretty funny.
I just happen to take the rage bait. That cheese with the string on it and the stick on the box, it just looks so good.
I think I also really like failing and getting hit in games. So that.
Same.
Also, we didn't really say thank you so much, Josh. Thank you so much, Josh.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I've been kind of begging to be on the podcast, I think, a little bit with individuals.
Have you?
With, like, each individual, I think with, like, Anish and, like, Tori and Jess individually, I'd be like, man, when am I going to be on the podcast?
You should have come to me, Josh.
Yeah, I know. It was you who texted me. Twin speak. Anytime you want me, I'll be here.
Oh, shit.
And the
You
listeners,
mean that?
the listeners will be begging.
I mean that. I woke up at 8 a.m. and broke out some whiskey. So sorry, Tori.
That was your idea. Nobody asked you. The listeners will be begging to have Josh back as well, I'm certain. After
Thank you,
this
listeners.
puppy drops. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
All right, bye.